Mark has it down there. If you want to start that show, Mark.
If we will, I make a motion to approve claims number 26,624 through 26,680 for $1,138,576.12. That's the correct amount.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the corrected claims from the last meeting. Any further questions regarding that? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now we'll move to claims for July, or for this meeting.
For this meeting, we have claims number 26,681 through 26,756 for $1,110,735.30.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the claims as submitted. Barring any discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I think we're up to you,
Okay.
sir.
On the financial front, no charge-offs this meeting. That'll be in a couple weeks. I did distribute May 2025 financials. Nothing out of the ordinary. We have spent considerable amount of money on new vehicles, mostly in electrical department, and we're also investing in some utility lines over on West Street, and we'll soon do the same thing on East Street. So I think everything's in line with the financials, but be glad to answer any questions or take comments. Okay, moving on. Few other notes. As we all are aware, we are now live streaming, and we'll do so moving forward. The live stream is run through a YouTube address that will be on the meeting minutes and the agenda moving forward, so the public will be able to access that through our tiptonutility.com website for future meeting minutes. And I think we're pretty well tuned into that. Thanks, Parker and City Jenny, for getting us going here this meeting. A couple items on the IMPA front. We did have safety training back on Wednesday, June 18th, very specific to the electrical bucket truck pole top rescue. It's part of the certification process our apprentices go through, but it's a nice refresher. We get everybody every year. Hopefully we don't ever have to implement, but we want to be ready if that's the case. I did get officially sworn in at the last IMPA board meeting, and I've taken over for Mr. Klein, and we're off and running. So
Very good.
The Tipton 2 solar ribbon cutting ceremony was held back on June 26th, well attended by city, utility, county commissioner. Just very well done. Very hot day, so the comments were brief, and we got out of there. But, they're collecting electricity from the sky and putting them back on our grid, so everything's in working order. Got a handful of items on the water utility I want to mention. We completed our annual flow testing that Peerless Midwest does to all 5 wells. We have, or our 8 wells. We have 3 wells out west. We have 5 wells here in the city. So every year they do a flow test just to make sure there's nothing, there's always some deviations, but we just want to make sure there's no catastrophic failures going on that we're not aware of. Everything seemed to pass just fine. We are online probably to do well number 5, the 10-year rolling overhaul, if you will. So we're evaluating that. Well number 5 is right at the city plant. It was apparently an old gas well, so it's very deep in the ground in a rock formation. But it's a nice piece of infrastructure we have that supports the city water system here. And we're waiting for a report from Peerless on next steps there. So, and just remember, those are fairly expensive overhauls, anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 once they get it in the shop and figure out what needs to be done. But every 10 years, each pump that's our goal. So that will happen here soon. I mentioned a couple meetings ago that we wanted to do an evaluation of our gravity filters out at the West plant, kind of make sure we're ready for the new customer to come online and really start exercising that plant. So we did get a report. They found some issues. The gravity filter, it's kind of like a pool filter. It's got different strata of different grades of gravity and anthracite. Well, everything sits on a big structurally reinforced tray that supports all that media. Well, those trays have some issues that the report indicates we probably want to think about doing some repairs on that. I have since forwarded that report on to Wessler, and I'm awaiting some feedback from them. So my anticipation is probably sometime in 2026 we'll want to do I wouldn't call it a major project, but it's not a minor one either. A medium project, if you will, and may even go to the point of dollars that we need to do a formal bid process and whatnot. So just preparing the board so you won't be surprised when we get to that point.
What is that limit to go to bid? Do you remember?
75,000. We need 3 quotes. I think 150,000 is the limit, so it could reach that point. So, and there are a couple specialized firms here in the state of Indiana that do that kind of work on a regular basis. So it involves taking out the media, getting to the tray. I don't know if it's new trays or repair the old trays, and then putting all the media back. It's pretty labor intensive, so we'll see. And then I'm really, really pleased to report that one of our young guys in the water department has passed his license exam. Connor Tilley is now certified drinking water plant operator. So he maintains the license that he can operate the city plant or the West plant and sign off on all the paperwork. And we've been kind of training him for the last 3 or 4 years. And there's a pretty extensive testing apparatus in place by the state. I mean, they don't just let anybody walk in the door and start messing with your drinking water. So he worked really hard. He took a couple shots at the test and got over the finish line. And I wanted to be sure and document that with everybody.
Congratulations to him for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. A few other project updates. The sanitary force main, we're back in action today. We're here working. We had that valve delivery issue. That's been resolved. Things are here, and I've got a completion schedule that shows mid-September finishing up the project down to the punch list, and that's contractually where they're required to be done. So it's all coming together. If you think about it, actually bought us a little extra time because these new pumps will, when the startup gets completed, we go into warranty period. So we kind of push the warranty period start date out a few months, which they may be gapped, but we're not. So those pumps typically don't cause any problems. So just worth mentioning that. But they're here. Most of the work will start here at the triangle just outside by the Frisbee Golf Woods. Once they get that lift station up and running and ready to receive flow, then they'll go out to the west lift station and complete the pump change outs out there, and we'll be live at that point. Water tower, we're waiting on the electrician to show up. There's some electrical and control work and a small floating aerator that goes in that. If you remember, we got a little over capacity and we want to keep the water mixing, especially in the winter, so there's not a freeze issue. So that'll probably wrap up about the same time as the sanitary, so August, September timeframe, and we'll put those to bed. So I think we mentioned last meeting we got the logo done and did a nice little award ceremony with Derek Crown over on that. He did a really nice job for us. And then we're thinking the West Street, our work's complete on West Street. It's now road work, paving, sidewalks, and then once they're done there, they'll head over to East Street, and that project will start probably here in mid-July, late July. and we'll go through the same process. Some respects not as extensive as West Street, and other respects a little more detailed, but got a grip on it, and seems to be working out. So,
I can't remember how far north is that going?
2 blocks, so it's, I think it gets to Adams Street.
It won't interfere with Park 100.
Not where their truck deliveries come in. It will have some impact on their employee parking, but we can deal with that a lot easier than the semis.
Yeah.
Hopefully they move a little faster.
Yeah, there's been, I'm not sure what the challenges is. I don't know if it's manpower, because everything's there for them to finish the job. I know the neighbors should be rightfully not as happy as they could be, but the final product
Yeah.
will be worth the wait. We're told.
So that seems like it's been painful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it impacts the swimming facility at the pool and things of that nature. No new news out west at the southeast Campbell property. You know, it's been, gosh, a couple years now since that land was purchased, and there was a big plan, and there still is a big plan, I'm told, but nothing's been initiated. Then our friends that bought the old Stellantis factory, the ball is in their court to go to IDEM now and get their wastewater pretreatment permit. And we still continue to have some exchanges, Matt Smith at Strand and I with IDEM, just dotting some I's and crossing some T's and get that moving. And then lastly, Chairman McElfresh, myself, and Peter Schramm went through the last city-county utility task force meeting back in late June, and there was an offer presented that might be able to do some annexation out a couple miles from here. And the attorneys for the city and the attorneys for the county were supposed to be evaluating that. And what I understand is they are having some discussions, but nothing concrete has become of it. You guys have anything else to offer?
No, that's the same feedback I've received. Pete, do you have anything with
I
that?
haven't received any feedback, but I think it's good. I mean, we're just dotting I's and crossing T's. It seems like both parties seem to be somewhat in agreement. It's just getting the
So they'll annex property out in the county into the city.
Potentially, there's a way to do that. And,
That's weird.
yeah.
non-contiguous.
Yeah.
annexation.
That is weird.
The other thing in the works is an interlocal agreement between the city, county, and utility for commercial, industrial properties, obviously non-contiguous. Think about 560 West out there, the factory, and then across the way at Campbell Crossing where Love's and the car dealer and RT Moore. I'm not aware, maybe there's something in the background where there was an interlocal, but the county attorney is working on an agreement to kind of tidy all that up and solidify, so we all work together in the future on that, and that will be presented to all of us at some point in the next month or two. So it's a little bit interesting that wasn't done, or maybe it was and nobody can put their fingers on it, but if you think about it, it's county property, city utility assets, servicing those, and not really anything I'm aware of, and to lock it all up. But we should see that. It'll go to the mayor's office first and go from there.
It's a good idea for everybody to get that in writing, so everybody's intentions are well documented. So
yeah, I think it'll just solidify maybe a partnership that we want to work together in the future. Not that we haven't. I think, as I understand, back in the day, it came down to some really fast actions to make it happen so the factory could be built. And everything's working. We just want to paper it up a little bit. Only thing else I would say is we have another meeting in 2 weeks. We'll do it again. So open it up to questions, comments from the board and then the community.
okay. Any questions, comments, concerns from Board members? We're missing Councilman Rippey, so
Yeah.
we don't have his
Reported in
input.
An hour ago, he was not gonna be able to.
Gotcha. Bob, you're the lonely candidate in the gallery. Any questions?
I do. Do I need to be up there?
Yes, please do. State your name and address, please.
Is this on?
Yes.
Bob Edinger, 321A Southwest Street, Tipton. You're talking about annexing in the county, not connected to the city. Who's paying to get them utilities there?
The county has offered to pay to get the utilities out there if this agreement can come to fruition.
So it wouldn't be the city utilities paying that. Okay. The only other thing, I think Barb Cardwell is having her shoulder replaced today,
Oh, wow.
probably already
That's
done.
good.
I saw Paul yesterday out running, I was riding and just thought I'd pass that on, and
Yeah.
I wish her good luck because
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
I'll certainly be thinking about her
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
sharing that.
Yes.
Yeah, very
for
good.
sure.
Well, she's had her share of surgeries. Wow.
Anything else, Jim?
I don't think so.
Anything else from the board?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.